Good morning, friends. It's Wayne Wallace here, and I am about to do a podcast interview. So I thought I would live stream behind the scenes for you. So I've got my two phones set up, live streaming. So depending on which channel you follow me on, and someone just entered my website. I just got a notification. And then I've also got my AI agent over here enriching email addresses. I've got a list of about 1,000 attorneys. Oh, hold on. My Zoom is starting up. Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is there for you. Where are you located? Oh, hold on. Let me turn up my volume so I can hear you. Okay, what'd you say?
We're here in Florida, so it's 1:31 p.m. right now.
Okay, afternoon.
So it's good afternoon. What time is it for you?
It is 10:30.
Oh, 10:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm in Las
Good
Vegas.
morning to you. Well, Wayne, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things I want to go over really quickly before we could go ahead and get started. First of all, regarding the conversation, of course, it's going to be around 20 to 25 minutes, so I want to make sure we can keep it in that time frame. And it's very relaxed and casual, so nothing too serious. It's all about you sharing your story, sharing your knowledge and your insights to help the young generation on their path and their journey. Does that sound good to you?
I love that. And just to let you know, I am also Facebook live streaming behind the scenes.
Oh, are you now?
Yeah,
That's exciting.
I've got my phone set up and I'm live streaming behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that, man. That sounds awesome.
So how do I pronounce your name?
Of course, it's Saahil.
Saahil Baxi.
Yes, Saahil Baxi.
Baxi. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You got it. All right, and the second of all, of course, where this is being uploaded. So my main platform has been Apple Podcasts. So once I get the editing down with our episode and everything, I'll share it with you, of course. And the reason why I do have it on Zoom though is so I can both have the video and the audio, because in the near future I'll pull it out with the actual interview recording itself.
Great. So you don't mind me live streaming it then?
I don't mind.
All right. We'll promote your podcast and all that.
Yes, perfect. I appreciate that. Yes, that would be great. But that's everything on my end. Do you have any other questions before we get started, Wayne?
Nope, go for it.
All right. So you're all ready to start recording then?
Yep.
All right, let's start recording now.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Future Millionaires podcast, the show where entrepreneurs, creators, and young leaders learn the habits, mindsets, and money moves that will lead to real freedom. I'm your host, Saahil Baxi, and today I'm very, very honored to be joined by Wayne Wallace. Wayne helps business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals increase their sales performance. And he's a leader in business development and works closely with organizations to drive growth, strengthen relationships, and deliver measurable results through proven sales strategies. So, Wayne, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. That was a great intro.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I always want to make sure I come prepared for my guests. So, Wayne, let's start with your story. How does your journey begin, and what first inspired you to do what you do today?
Yeah, well, this is great for young people. I love telling my story for young people because they are growing up in a much different world than I did. So I'll quickly take you back to the beginning. So I went to a vocational high school and I learned the art of drafting. Now, you may not, and your listeners may not be aware of drafting. Do you know about drafting with pencil and paper?
It sounds pretty literal.
Yeah.
So I could definitely, I could say I do.
So back in the old days, before computers, there used to be engineers and draftsmen, and they would use pencil and paper to make drawings of buildings and cars and anything that was going to be manufactured or built. And they would create what are called blueprints to hand to the people that were out in the field making stuff. So that's how I started my career as a draftsman. But as soon as I got out of high school, I went to work at Raytheon Missile Division, and I had a hand in helping create the Patriot missile, which is being used today, right? And I didn't know at the time that that's what I was helping create, but they had this big, huge mainframe computer system. And later, a couple years later, the PC came out, and I got introduced to a little product called AutoCAD, which was on the 286 computer, one of the first computers. So that's where my career started. And I had a whole career in that industry. I eventually went to work for Autodesk as a programmer, and I learned how to code with Lisp and C and C++. And then, and anytime if you want to jump in and ask questions, feel free. And then in 2001, 2002 timeframe, I got laid off. And I said, well, I've always been interested in photography. And I took photography class in high school. So this is my first film camera that I had in high school. And I decided to go out and start taking pictures and trying to be a professional photographer. You know, and I made a lot of mistakes, but 20 years later, here I am in Las Vegas, where I live now, and I own a professional photo and video company. But something else happened in my industry, the cell phone. So now everybody's live streaming like I am right now and taking photos and videos themselves. So they don't hire a professional photographer as much as they used to, right? Some people still do. So I started moving into the current field that I'm in now, which basically combines all of my skills, my programming skills, my marketing skills, my photo and video skills. And now I basically run a digital marketing agency called Apache Business Solutions. And I help business owners and entrepreneurs, like you said, with their marketing and, you know, all that to automation, business automation. So yeah, that's kind of brings you from the past up to the beginning. And the one thing I'll point out through that story is that things always change. So if you're a young person listening to this podcast, be ready for things to change.
Absolutely. And that is a really great tip as well. And, you know, things are going to always be changing, even, you know, maybe it's, you know, happening in the world, or maybe it's happening in your personal life, right? Like, this is a change for me doing podcasting, but I got good at it fairly quickly, so I'm very, very happy about this. And of course, just want to make sure that, you know, thank you for sharing your journey with us. That is really, really amazing. And, you know, what your foundation is today, and, you know, how you built it. So that's really, really great. So thank you for sharing that with us. And just like really quickly, how did you come up with, you know, the name Apache? For your name, Apache.
Yeah, well, in my programming career, I came across that name. So most of the internet runs on Linux, which is an operating system. And on Linux, there's a program called Apache Web Server. So a lot of the websites you visit run on Apache. And then, of course, the other two references to Apache are Apache Indians and Apache helicopters. So I can kind of use it in all those ways. Like, we attack problems, right? Apache helicopters attack. But yeah, it's just a rarely used word. And it's just something that popped into my head, and ApacheBusinessSolutions.com was available. So I grabbed it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Now, most people, I'm sure you have as well, most people have a moment or experience that sort of shifts how they think about either success or money or growth or health. So what was that specific turning point for you?
Well, I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial mindset. And, back like in those early days of computers, I started my first company. It was called Bits and Bytes Computers. And I had this vision of building computers for people. I was so engrossed in this thing called the computer. When I first bought my 286, it came with DOS, which was the early operating system. And I quickly replaced the DOS operating system with Unix, which is the predecessor to Linux.
Oh, that's interesting, and I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that as well. Now, I'm not really well versed around computers, but I do understand a little bit of it. And I have a friend who does coding. He's with programming, computers, all those sorts of things. And I have another friend so I have a couple of friends who are very, very well versed in that. And I think it's such a complicated field. For me, though, because I tried to get into coding, like I tried to learn. My dad put me in Python classes at one point because, I'm pretty sure that was like one of the easier languages to learn, right?
Yeah.
Python.
Yeah. It's a pretty easy language to learn. Mm-hmm.
I thought I could find a passion with it, but then it was just like, I don't know, this coding stuff feels even too complicated for me. So I appreciate people like you, Wayne, who are here today as well to take up on those tasks and things for people like us who don't even understand a single bit of it.
Well, here's a little secret for you. I'm not sure I want to share this on this worldwide podcast and live stream, but back in the old days, you had to crack a book open, like in a book that was like this thick, and you had to learn all the syntax for writing code. Well, now you just go to AI and you say, hey, AI, write me a program that does this. So as long as you can verbalize and explain it, you can have AI create code. In fact, I have a program over here on my left that's running right now, and it's collecting names, emails, phone numbers of attorneys in Las Vegas, scraping the web, gathering all this data. I've got about 1,000 names so far because next week I'm sending out a promotion, a New Year's headshot photography promotion to over 1,000 attorneys. And I have AI doing all the work, and it wrote all the code. I didn't write any code at all.
Wow, that is fantastic, Wayne. Well, I mean, I guess we could be very thankful for all this AI stuff. I'm sure it probably would have taken much longer to kind of set that up if you didn't have like ChatGPT or AI to help that out with you. So I guess it's a good tool. Maybe we're cheating a little bit, but we'll take what we can get, right?
Yeah, some people look at AI as evil, and some people say, oh, it's cheating. But I tell people it's like a calculator, right? Because when I was growing up, calculators came out. And they said, you can't bring a calculator to school because that's cheating on your math. You got to learn it in your head. You got to learn how to add, subtract, divide, all that kind of stuff. So the same is true now with AI. They say, oh, the kids, you can't use AI to write your papers. You got to write them yourself, which I believe is true. You need to learn how to exercise your brain and have creative thoughts. But here's the thing. AI is just a tool. Just like a calculator. If you take a calculator and you mash all the buttons, you're going to come up with a number, right? The number's not going to mean anything, but same with AI. If you put the right stuff into AI, then you're going to get the right stuff back. Same with a calculator. If you put the right algorithm or whatever function into the calculator, then it's going to return the correct number. So it's really just a tool at the end of the day, and it can make us so much more productive. Like I'm creating websites, programs, automating business tasks, doing all kinds of stuff with AI that would take me, like you said, years to do.
Absolutely, right. And I totally agree with that. And, just using it as a tool, and I wouldn't say like using it as a tool not to just give you the right answer, but running yourself through the process of it, and understanding how, in math, how you truly just having ChatGPT, for example, running you through the equation to understand how you get to that answer rather than just asking for it, outright.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like, say you did want to learn about Python programming or any other language, you could go to ChatGPT and say, be my tutor and teach me how to be a programmer. And it'll design a course for you. You don't have to go pay for a course. It'll design a course and walk you through all the steps of learning how to become a good programmer.
Totally. And now, Wade, now as we are young, we're little younglings, and we're still building our skill set, right? We're still building our habits, and still training our mind. So I want to ask you, and I'm sure that you built and developed a lot of great habits throughout your journey. So could you share with us one daily or weekly habit that has helped you stay grounded and focused and positive?
Yeah, so it's really easy to get consumed by all this technology and stuff. And I could easily sit at my computer all day long, like I did yesterday, coding and developing websites and stuff like that. So what I've done recently is, because I sit so much at my desk all day long, I said I want to develop a new habit of walking at least 6,500 steps a day. So what I do is I wake up early, like usually between 4 and 5 a.m. And the first thing I do is, I put on my hat and my gloves because it's cold now, and I head out the door and I put in 3,200 steps. And then I come back to my desk and I work. And then after work, I go out and do 3,200 steps. So that's a habit that I've forced myself to do. I don't have to do it. I just said, okay, life is more than sitting at a computer, right? So whether that's going out and playing your favorite sport or doing a hobby like photography, you just have to take time out of your daily activities and make it easy. Like it's easy for me to get up in the morning and just go do it. Because if I sit down at my computer and I start working, I may say, I'm not going to walk today, right? So you got to have little cues. And one of my cues is I have my Alexa play Rocky music in the morning. So I hear the Rocky theme song. And so I wake up to that, and that cues me that I need to go out and walk.
I love that, Wayne. The fact that you have your cue as the Rocky theme song is just amazing. I love that. Have you watched it before?
Oh yeah, well I saw the original when it came out.
That's awesome. I guess that's really helpful, and I guess it can make it fun and enjoyable rather than dreading it. I think having your cue as that specific theme song can kind of just keep you pumped up and going rather than just dreading the walk, right?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
That's a really nice fun twist that especially for young people can put as their cue.
Yeah.
So that's a totally great idea, Wayne.
And in today's day and age, we have all these digital devices which can send us reminders. So we get notifications about bad stuff like, hey, look at this Instagram reel or whatever, right? But if we use the technology to give us cues like, hey, it's time to go walk, or hey, it's time to do your math studies or whatever,
Absolutely, and it's just another instance of something being used as a tool, right? Just like ChatGPT helping use that for understanding how this Python code works, or understanding how this math equation works. That can be the same for our phones. Is setting it as a reminder rather than just using it as something to kind of waste yourself and distract your time with.
Exactly.
Now, Wayne, and about this question, and I really, really love this one, and just because everyone defines this differently, and I'm really, really interested and excited to hear what yours is about this, and what your perspective is on this. And that question is, what does financial freedom mean personally to you?
Well, I've been living in, quote, financial freedom for like the past 20 something years because I'm self-employed. So I've been making my living with photography for 20 plus years. Now I'm making a shift into helping other business owners automate and get their websites found and stuff like that. But for me, financial freedom is not having to go to a 9-to-5 day job. And in this day and age, for young people, there's so many opportunities. Like you can start a podcast like you can start a YouTube channel. You can, there's so many ways for young people to create financial freedom. And I know, because I've heard you talk about it, investing. Take a little bit of your money and invest it. And I wish when I was your age that I had known about this stuff and started investing, because when I got to my age that I am now, I wouldn't have to work, Unfortunately, right now, I still have to work because I didn't invest when I was a young person like you. So definitely young people need to invest and listen to you and give them wisdom about financial investing.
Well, thank you for that, Wayne. I appreciate that, and for sharing your perspective as well. And I think that's really helpful. And of course, you kind of already living, or sort of matching what your definition is you're not living that 9-to-5 job, right? You're self-employed. You're working remotely. So you don't have to, wake up. Well, I mean, you already do it as a habit. You wake yourself up at like 4 or 5 in the morning already. But I mean, you don't have to listen. You don't really have to listen to a boss. You can take a break if you wanted to, right? So I think that is such an important part of it, is the freedom part, right? You've already been living that for the past 20 years. I think that's what you said. So I mean, you're already pretty much in that freedom aspect of it, living kind of where you want to be. Now, you may not be where you want to be right now, but you're already on the right track.
Absolutely.
I can already see that.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said for working for yourself. And just to be clear, I do have a day job right now. I work with Eric Lofholm. He's a sales coach and trainer. And basically what I do for him all day is business development. So the same things I want to help other business owners with, I'm actually doing for him all day long as a full-time job. But I don't really look at it as a 9-to-5 grind like job, that I hate going to, because I love what I'm doing with him and for him. And that's what I want to do to help other business owners as well. So you can have a 9-to-5 job. There's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 job, as long as, it's something you love to do and you're helping someone else grow their business or something like that. But even though I work not exactly 9-to-5 hours, I can pretty much set my own hours. So if I want to work on my business for a few hours in the morning and then clock in at, say, 6 a.m., I can do that, right? It's very flexible. So I say design your life the way you want it to be. And that's what I've done. I've designed the life that I want.
Well, that is great. And I'm glad to hear that, Wayne. So really, really, that's great. And then, I guess, as a follow-up, so I guess you could say it kind of like a two-part question. But to follow up from that, you shared your perspective with us. But the next step for the young audience, the young listeners, is what is one actionable step that they can do right now to help them move closer to that version of freedom?
Well, I would say look at industries or, your interests and see how, like, you're already putting time into it. So let's say you do skateboarding, right? Which is a more physical activity. How can you take that physical activity and create content? Maybe you're creating videos and shorts. Try to maximize the time that you're putting into that activity, no matter what it is, whether it's cooking or skateboarding or reading a book, right? There are ways to repurpose that content. So like, for instance, when I go out and walk in the morning, I live stream it on Facebook. So I'm not only walking and helping myself, I'm live streaming on Facebook, and I just talk about random stuff. And nobody ever sits there and listens to 100% of it, but maybe somebody checks in for 2 minutes and they hear some little nugget of wisdom that I'm talking about. So I'm repurposing what I'm actively doing. I'm walking.
That's really awesome, and I really love that. I think the active repurposing what you already do, and I think that's something really fun, and I encourage that, is to repurpose what you're already doing. So what you are doing is doing a Facebook Live while you're going on the walk. So I think that is a great way to do exactly what you already shared with us.
Yeah.
And I will encourage anyone who's listening. I think they should do that. And I mean, not everyone's going to listen to all of it. I mean, kind of gonna understand, like, not everyone's gonna have that sort of attention span. Some people might just check in for a couple minutes, right? And they might listen to you. They might hear you talking about something that really does speak with them, as you say you do, Wayne. And maybe that can actually put something into that person's heart where they feel connected with you. Like, hey, I like what this person's saying, right?
Absolutely. And like right now, I'm live streaming on 2 phones on Facebook Live because I have 2 Facebook accounts. So I'm live streaming on 2 Facebooks, and then I can always download that video from Facebook Live and I can clip it up and I can put it on my own YouTube channel if I want.
That is awesome. And I appreciate you for doing that, Wayne. Thank you so much for that. And I love that. And of course, for sharing, firstly, your perspective on financial freedom, and then also helping the young generation with one quick tip trick that can help them reach that version of freedom. I love that. And something that I always, input from my side, and you, of course, as you shared it a couple minutes ago, but I always go in depth on it on every single conversation, just to bring it out, share it as much as possible, because it's a core strategy that I truly believe in, and I think everyone should do it as young and as early as possible. And of course, I have a name for it, which is $100 Future Millionaire Strategy, Wayne. And teenagers around my age, like I'm 17 right now, they should get started now and should consider getting a job somehow, something part-time, and that work will create their foundation for financial independence. And the magic number and habit there is saving and investing just $100 every single month. So in 50 years, that simple $100 habit could grow to over $1 million through compound growth. So starting that small habit and taking that big dream that teenagers usually have of wanting to have $1 million for themselves. So starting that early and then letting compound growth work its magic for you, in the course of those 50 years, your future self will thank you for the habit. And you'll be so grateful that you took the time to save and invest that every single month. And I made it my personal mission as well to help 1,000 teenagers, tap into that tool for themselves. so that they can become future millionaires for themselves over time, right?
Absolutely.
Of course, I mean, and I was curious, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think about this specific strategy?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it. Like I said, I wish I had started doing that when I was your age. Now, I did do a little investing through my company that I worked for. They had a 401k, and I was making pretty good money. So I put the maximum amount that I could legally into my 401k, and then the company matched it. So I do have a little bit of a nest egg that's sitting in a 401k. But I would definitely recommend, or in a self-directed IRA now, because I'm no longer with that company. But I would highly recommend that young people today look at Bitcoin specifically, maybe a little Ethereum, because that's closely tied to Bitcoin. Don't really pay attention to a lot of these, meme coins and stuff like that. It's just kind of a trap. But definitely Bitcoin in your future, Bitcoin's going to be worth way more than it is now. So if you look at any stock, like say Coca-Cola, any big name stock, if I had bought that stock when I was a kid, then it would be worth a lot more now. So like you said, take a little bit of that money, maybe $10 a month or whatever, and invest it in Bitcoin. Because some people say that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million a coin. Right now it's at around 85 to 90. It was just at 120 recently. So it's going to fluctuate just like stocks. But the thing is, you want to get in early and then sell at a high point, or take some profit at a high point and invest in something else. So like for instance, I bought silver, nickels, and dimes, just regular coins, back in 2016 when silver was very low. It was at like $14 to $17. Well, silver just hit its high. Its all-time high of like 70 something dollars. So just on Friday, I went and sold all that silver. So I made a good return on my investment. Now, could I have kept it? Sure. I could have kept it for another 20 years. But I wanted to take my profits now and then invest that money in something else. So with investing, like I said earlier, things change, right? So you always want to keep an eye on, the highs and the lows of either stocks or coins, digital currency, cryptocurrency, and see when's a good time to get in, when's a good time to get out. When everybody's saying, oh, Bitcoin's at 120, you better get some, that's not the time to get it.
Absolutely, Wayne. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. That's a great tip. And thank you for that, Wayne. And thank you so much, of course, for joining me today and for sharing your experiences and your wisdom. I think what you shared was truly incredible. And, I know a lot of people will really, really resonate with what you shared today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Absolutely, Wayne. And for anyone who wants to connect with you online, what are the best places that they can do that?
Well, I have a lot of different websites. My main website is my name, WayneWallace.com. I have it printed right here on my shirt, Wayne Wallace. And then my kind of future business going forward is ApacheBusinessSolutions.com.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Wayne. And now, for anyone who wants to connect with him, please do. I highly recommend it. He's a great guy, and I hope what he shared today brought a lot of inspiration to all of my listeners. And of course, don't forget to follow and share Future Millionaire so you don't miss more inspiring conversations like this one. And of course, don't forget that success starts with those small and consistent actions, right? I think, Wayne mentioned a lot of great stuff today, a lot of great tools and insights to take away from. having his habit of having a cue as his is the Rocky theme song, which is amazing. I love that. And that's his cue to, go for his walks, right? So, I think setting, your own sort of cue, it can be fun, make it enjoyable, go for it. Please, please. Don't be afraid of doing that. And saving and investing that $100 every month, I think it's such a crucial core strategy, and your future self will thank you for it. So again, Wayne, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. It was, a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Wayne. And of course, thank you all so much for listening, that you keep building toward your freedom.
Recording stopped.
So Wayne, just want to say really, really quickly, thank you so much for your time. Really, I truly, truly appreciate and honor your time. I love what you shared today. You're truly, truly amazing. Thank you.
Great. Well, happy to be on your show, and I wish you much success with all your endeavors.
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. And to you as well. And I hope you have a happy New Year, too.
Absolutely. And tomorrow's my birthday, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, December 29th?
That's right.
Wow. Well, Wayne, happy birthday. Oh, and I'll make sure to wish you happy birthday tomorrow as well. But, just in case, just want to wish you a early happy birthday.
All right.
So,
thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. And I hope you have a great one. Take care.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So that was a fun podcast. So you got a little behind the scenes look at that. So recording in progress. So I beat him to the punch, and I published before he did. Of course, I didn't have him on screen. I just had me on screen. So while I've got you here, let me talk about this program that I've got running here. I've been running it for many hours. So something nice that Anthropic, the developers of Claude Code, did is they extended anyone's subscription to basically unlimited processing, like it's a Christmas gift, right? And it totally got me by surprise, because usually what happens is it times out and it says, hey, you hit your maximum limit and you have to wait, a couple hours to do anything else. And that forces me to get out and walk, right? Get up from the computer and go out and walk. And here's a little sidebar. Anyone that's telling you that AI is going to give you more freedom and it's going to give you hours back in your life and you're going to be able to go spend time with family and friends, and like even Tony Robbins is now pitching this, and this is a complete lie. Okay? Yes, AI will make you more productive, but I still sit at my computer 10, 12 hours a day. And I am maximizing the use of AI to the point of it telling me to get up and go for a walk, right? And that's just because I don't pay $200 a month for the premium, right? So anyone pitching this lie that AI is going to give you more freedom and more time back in your life, it's bullshit, okay? The same lie was told back when the computers first came out, and Bill Gates was part of this. He said, oh yeah, you're only going to have to work 4 hours a day. Do we work 4 hours a day? No, we don't. Okay. So don't fall into this trap and start promoting this. I've seen other people promoting this as well, like lesser people, not Tony Robbins, right? So don't believe this lie. It's absolutely not the truth. You're not going to get more time freedom out of AI. You're just going to do things faster. So for instance, right now, I am running a program with AI. First, I had it code for me, write code. And now I'm having it run that code. And basically what it's doing is I had a list of 1,000 attorneys. And the first time I emailed them, I couldn't use their name because I didn't have name and email in a spreadsheet. I just had their name. So I basically just did a big blind carbon copy to all of them. And whoever replied, or whoever had an auto reply for like the holidays. So little secret side tip, email people on a holiday because you'll get an auto reply. All these auto replies said I'm out of the office until January 5th or whatever, right? These are attorneys. Like, they don't work that much. Or they take a lot of vacation. They do work. That's an incorrect statement. But the point is that if you email people on a holiday, especially a business person, their auto reply is going to give you their name, right? It's going to say Bob Jones at ABC Law, right? And then the email. Well, I already had the email. So then what I did was I downloaded all these auto replies and I gave them to AI. And I said, hey, AI, go ahead and parse out all of the names and email addresses and websites and put it into a comma-separated file. So, and I'm looking up at my camera, my webcam, because I think I'm talking to my webcam. So let me try and look at two cameras here. I'll look kind of in the middle. I've got two phones going, one over here, one over there. So I'm so used to looking at my camera. That's another point. Always look at your camera, right? The camera is right there at the top of the the top of the phone. So don't look at yourself in the phone. Like, don't look right there at yourself. Look at the camera. So wherever that little light is, probably at the top of your phone, look there, because then you're engaging with the audience. Tip from a photographer. Let me get a sip of coffee here. I so wanted to take a sip of coffee during that podcast, and I don't think I did. I was like, no, don't sip coffee during the podcast. So anyway, back to this AI program that's running. So first I pulled all the emails and extracted all the names and emails from the emails, the auto replies. And then I put it into a comma-separated file, which is basically a spreadsheet, right? That's how we view comma-separated files, is with a spreadsheet. Because each column is a different field, right? So first name, comma, second name, comma, email, comma, phone number, comma, right? It's comma separated. And then you have rows, right? So then I told AI, I said, hey, I've got another 1,000 names. Some of them may be 1,000 emails. There I am looking at my camera again. I'm going to just take this camera down so I don't look at it. So I've got 1,000 names or emails that don't have names, and then I've got the new list which you made, which has got, okay, so I just hit my limit. So remember what I told you earlier? It gives you limits. So I've been processing all morning since like maybe 8 o'clock when I got up. I slept in today. So from 8 until 11, basically, I've been processing. And it says now I have to wait until 1 p.m. So that's going to force me to get up from my computer. Like, I could do other stuff. but it's going to force me to get up from my computer and go do something, like clean the house, do laundry, that kind of, stuff. This is why I say that the lie that you're going to get more time back in your life, not because you hit your limit, is because you can't walk away from AI. It's always prompting you. Like this whole time I've been sitting here and doing the podcast, it was prompting me, hey, do you want me to continue? Hey, do you want me to do this? So you can't just let AI run wild by itself. It's always going to check in with you. So if you're not at your computer, and here I am looking up at no camera again, such a habit. So if you're not constantly checking in with AI to see what it's prompting you to use, something about hand gestures. That was weird. I'll quit using my hands because it was doing something to my live stream. So you have to babysit. Basically, we're AI babysitters now. That's what we are. We're AI prompters and we're AI babysitters. So, yeah, it's going to make you more productive if you know how to use it. And you're going to get a lot more done. Like I thought I was productive before. I am 100x. I've got a 10x flag up here on my wall. You can see it right there, 10x. That thing's old. Like that's not, it's 100x now. It's 1,000x. AI can make you so much more productive. Like I'm creating websites that would have taken me years to code, right? Or I just would have done a crappier job with it to get it done quicker. Like at the drop of a hat, I can go make enhancements to my website. And that's why I'm shifting my whole focus of business to helping other business owners create websites and do better marketing, because now it's like so easy for me. Maybe other people don't have the techie skills that I have and they can't create this type of stuff. Because for me, like I said on the podcast, it just is natural for me. Like I've grown up with this stuff. Like I understand it. Like Saahil, the young kid that just interviewed me, like he probably never even heard about Linux before or Unix. He really didn't even know about drafting as a trade. So, a lot of people just aren't where I'm at or where you're at. Like maybe you have skills that I don't know anything about, right? Like I'm learning about crypto trading right now because I firmly believe that our future is digital money, cash money, coins. They're going to be collector's items. Like you're going to have a dollar or $100 in a scrapbook somewhere. You're going to have some pennies and you're going to say, I remember when they quit making the penny, right? Change is constant. And in the future, it's going to be a digital economy. Like right now, I've got money in a digital wallet and I can go spend it wherever I want. I'm basically pulling away from the banking system. I'm only keeping what I need in the banking system to pay bills with. And as soon as the people that I pay money to accept like Bitcoin or digital money, then I'll pay them that way. Because it's the way of the future. And I am studying crypto trading because it fits right in with everything that I'm doing. my programming skills, my techie skills. And once I have the skill set of manually trading a system, then I can automate that. And if I can have a bot doing my trading for me based on a proven system, then even if it's only making $1 or $5 every trade, then I can just be checking in with it, babysitting it, right? So I can have it on a computer over here on the side that I just kind of look at every once in a while just to see where my trades are at, right? Or place another trade. So yeah, this is the way of the future. And it's kind of like in the old days of photography, right? So I started as a film photographer back in the day. And when things went digital, so here's my digital camera, my Olympus. I love my Olympus. And actually a little side story. This strap is the strap from my original Canon camera. And it's really cool. Like it's probably handmade, somewhat, but it's this cool velvety material. It kind of looks like a guitar strap. It's got a little Indian kind of print on it. And it's actually got little film holders. So these little pouches, these little loops right here, they're all stretched out now. But you would load a couple rolls of film in your strap, and they only have it on one side. So you could carry 2 extra rolls of film right there on your strap. So when you ran out of film on your camera, you'd have 2 extra rolls that you could quickly just change up. Now, you always had more than 2 rolls, right? You never went to a gig with 2 rolls of film. It's just like memory cards, right? So let me grab a memory card. So here's a memory card. This is the new film. And I just turned off my monitor. Let me switch it back on. So this is a memory card. This is the new film. And you never go to a gig with just one memory card, right? I've got a whole stack of them because either A, they fill up and you don't have time to download during a photo or video shoot. You just got to switch to a new card. Now, luckily, most cameras have 2 slots, like this one. This one has 2 slots. So once one card fills up, it switches to the other card. Then you can pull the first card out and put a new card back in. So you're never down, right? These are the little things that make a professional in the photo and video world. Most people just use their phone and then it fills up and they say, oh, I can't record anymore because my phone filled up, right? Because your phone is not meant to be a professional video tool or photo tool. Now, it does a pretty good job, but if you're going to use your phone as a professional camera, then you need to manage your memory like a professional would. You need to wipe your phone on a regular basis and clean off all that information. So, I love my phones. I love technology. But you got to act like a professional if you're going to use it as a professional tool. So, where was I? I was talking about cameras and, film. Okay. So, old school photographers that I knew back when we made the transition from film to digital, they quit. They quit the industry. They're like, I'm done. I'm going to sell my Mamiya medium format camera and I'm going to go retire. I've been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. And I refuse to change. I refuse to adopt change and go digital, right? Because honestly, at that time, they created much better photos with film than any of the new digital stuff, because digital was new, right? So a lot of them hung on to their film until basically the industry pushed them out, because people didn't want to wait, right? They didn't want to wait for the film to be processed. They didn't want to wait for the photographer to go through and develop prints for people to see. People want to see it immediately. Like, they want to download it, and I want to see it now, right? We live in this now, I need it now economy, this digital economy. Like, one time I worked with this lady back when I had my studio, and after every picture, every click, she wanted to see it on the back of the camera. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, we haven't even gotten a flow yet. Like after the first picture, she said, oh, let me see. No. Like, that's what amateurs do. You know? They take a selfie and they look at it. They take a selfie and they look at it. They take a selfie and they look at it. That's not how professional photographers work. Okay? And that's one of the reasons I love doing headshots. Like real headshot sessions, not these boring business headshot sessions, right? Because that's what a lot of people want. I just want one photo. I just want one photo. Okay. If you want a lesser quality photo, then I'll just do that one photo for you. But, you know, I need at least a good half hour, if not longer, to really get in that creative flow with a person and make them start or help them start getting comfortable with being photographed and get their real personality to come out. So if you go look at the headshots and portraits that I have on wallacephoto.com, you'll see that. Like, you'll see the real personality of the people, right? A lot of these business headshots I do, yeah, I make money, but they're not the best photos of these people, because it's like factory. Like, I set up a backdrop and the company has like 5 people or 10 people or whatever that come and sit on a stool, and I position them, you know. And I'm pretty good. Like, in 5 minutes, I can break through and kind of get the best out of them in that 5 minutes. But that's because I'm a trained professional and I've done this thousands and thousands of times, and it just flows. Like, it's like tying your shoe, right? I can just do it. So I've seen some horrible photographers, trust me. Like, they're so nervous and they're so bad at their people skills that I can just see the other person is uncomfortable the whole time. So that's one of the things when you're hiring a photographer, you're not just hiring a guy that can take a picture. Like, anyone can do that. You can give your phone to anyone and they can take a picture of you. That's not why you're hiring a photographer. You're hiring a photographer because of their skills in people management. And I didn't know this when I first got started, you know. Honestly, I got started with photography because I want to take pictures of pretty girls. Okay? I was recently divorced, and I had my film camera, and I put an ad on Craigslist, and the first person that responded to my Craigslist ad was this beautiful Asian girl. and she was just getting started modeling in the San Francisco area. And I went out with like 10 rolls of film, and I just shot, and we had such a great time. We created some amazing photos, and I was like virtually brand new. Like, I had done photography in the past, but I never really worked with people that much. So that first experience with Suicide Kitty, that was her stage name, Suicide Kitty. She's probably a OnlyFans girl now, but maybe not. She was a nice girl. But with a name like that, like, that's an OnlyFans name for sure, Suicide Kitty. Yeah, after that experience, I was like, damn, I'm good, right? I had this big ego, and I said, I'm gonna be a model photographer, right? I'm gonna photograph girls, and then I really learned what the photography business was all about. It's about pets and babies and weddings and business portraits, so that quickly changed. But anyway, these old school photographers, they quit because they didn't want to adopt the new technology. So that's what you need to do as a business person. As a business person, things are changing. Okay, things have changed since I started in business, 20 years ago here in Vegas. And, I was kind of relying on my old website. And my thinking is that, well, it's worked for so many years, it's going to continue to work. No. Like, my websites were kind of stagnant and old and broken. And I said, well, they used to work, right? And then I had a mindset shift. And you have to be reminded constantly of this. And that's why it's good to have a coach. Like, I have my coach, Eric Lofholm. And I'm constantly being reminded of things. And I have other people I listen to too. They're not real life coaches. Like, I listen to Alex Hormozy, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, other random people that I find. Like, I found this new guy last night, and he drops the F-bomb a lot. But I like his energy. So I may start listening to him in the morning, because you need that boost of energy in the morning. So, it's good to have mentors or people that you listen to, if you want to call them influencers or whatever, to be reminded of, things change and you need to change with the times. Like I'm telling you right now, like, you need to change with the times. And AI and digital currency, that's our future. No doubt about it. And like I said, don't believe the lie. It's not going to give you your life back and more time with family and friends and all that. You have to do that yourself. You have to just say, I'm going to work from this time to this time, and maybe I take so many days a week or year, a month off. You have to do that yourself. AI is not going to do that for you. Now, will AI make you more productive? Absolutely. 100x, 1000x, especially if you're using it properly, like I am right now. Well, not right now, because I just hit my limit. But yeah, if you want to take your business to the next level, then get in touch with me. because I've got a multitude of ways that I can help you. With a CRM system to completely automate your business. I can write custom code for you. I can help you with little tasks like converting a list of names into emails and phone numbers and contact information with AI. Like I'm doing right now with 1,000 attorney names. Okay. There's so many ways that you can't even imagine to be more productive. So schedule a time to chat with me and we'll uncover some of those ways that I can help you. Go to ApacheBusinessSolutions.com. You can schedule a time with me outside of my work hours because I've got my work hours blocked off. So that time's already been taken. Someone already purchased that time. So go to Apache Business Solutions and schedule a time on my calendar. And I look forward to working with you and helping you 1,000x your business. All right. Have a great Sunday. I'm going to go clean some house and wash some clothes.